So, these are the grounds of the old chateau, right?
Yes.
Now, the wall that surrounded it, most of the northern part is gone, but the southern part is still there. We found that the other day. So we know that the Sherbrooks came into this area. Now, your aerial photograph shows that they made holes in some of the walls that were on the Route Nationale, which of course is right here.
There's about two big holes we can see in this wall. One would be right in front of us, back here. And the other one would be a bit further to the left, on that side.
We came here earlier to try to find out or look for proof that the Sherbrooks were here. We found small marks, but we didn't realize at the time how much of the wall was missing. And specifically, that there were breaks in the walls facing east towards where the Tigers would have advanced.
There was a couple right on the road, and it was from that general area that the first German tanks came out from Cinto. Right away, I can remember the wireless net becoming active. I can see them, there's some tanks coming. But with my eyes, I could see the tank closest to the road, about 200 yards, I guess. I didn't fire at him. Other people from my squadron were firing at it now. I don't recall the actual tank blowing up by somebody firing at him. I can remember a tremendous explosion and seeing the turret hit the ground.
Are you surprised to see how close we are to Wittmann's tank?
Yes, I am indeed, yeah. Because even when you look at the aerial photograph, it doesn't seem so close. And we are actually standing in the field, looking over from this side to where Wittmann's tank was destroyed. It certainly looks very close indeed.
So let's ask Vincent exactly how far we are from Wittmann's tank. So Vincent, can you give me a distance to Tiger number 1, Wittmann's?
143 meters.
143 meters. That's incredibly close. So we have this situation. We know where his tank was, just over here. So we have the Sherbrooks positions here, and they're shooting in that direction towards Wittmann's tank. Now you have a schematic of it.
I showed a drawing of a Tiger, and Serge was actually able to draw the precise area where he observed a big impact, which was located on the left forward cooling grid.
So this is left rear of Wittmann's tank. So
that's right.
Your trajectory would be very low here?
Yes, it would.
Because you're so close?
Mm-hmm.
So it's most likely then that would come from this position?
Yes.
And then it went in, and gradually it ignited the fuel and the ammunition, and the turret blew off. That's amazing. I'm surprised we're this close. I thought we'd be around 500 meters, and now we're 150. So really, it almost has to be the Canadians. Can you think of any alternative?
Well, Monsieur Varin, who took the photograph that we see here, he's actually suggested that it could have been a Typhoon rocket, because he photographed an unexploded Typhoon rocket that was lying nearby the tank. The reason I would doubt it is a Typhoon rocket is that A, they were ripple fire and weren't very accurate. It would be very difficult to hit a tank. The second thing is that the Typhoon rocket has several pounds worth of explosive, and if the rocket hit the Tiger, the rear of the Tiger would be blown apart.
Right.
So you wouldn't be able to see the hull in one piece.
So there's no evidence of really burning in this?
No.
There's just no proof that it happened?
It's unlikely.
So we're left with really one thing here.
The Canadian.
The Sherbrooks had to do it.
Yes.
Having examined the battlefield from the German, British and Canadian positions, it's now possible for the first time to reconstruct the Battle of Cinto and accurately recreate the attack that killed German Panzer ace Michael Wittmann. It is now clear that Joe Ekins, from his position near Saint-Agnan, did destroy 3 Tigers. But it is difficult to believe Ekins could have fired the shot that killed Wittmann, especially in the face of strong evidence that indicates that the fatal shot came from the direction of the Canadian tanks at Gomez-Nil, a position only 143 meters from the Black Baron's Tiger. Following the Battle of Sinto, the Allies pushed further south, continuing their advance against the remaining German units defending Normandy. In just 80 days, they completely encircled the retreating German army. The Battle of Normandy is all but over. In all, 100,000 men lose their lives, including 50,000 German soldiers. La Cambre Cemetery is the largest German memorial in Normandy. It contains 21,000 graves, including 2 Tiger commanders killed in action August 8, 1944. Military historian Norm Christie visits their graves.
This is Willie Irion. He was the commander of one of the Tigers knocked out going across the field. And you can see it's a collective grave with some of his crew members here. These are always just partial remains because of the fire inside the tank, as they say, brewed up, and there'd be very little after the battle to even bury. One tanker told me the story of burying his crew, and they buried them in a mess tin.
Over 60 years after his death, Wittmann's legend lives on. His grave stands out among the others, always adorned with fresh flowers.
We should not forget what Wittmann fought for. Sometimes we have a tendency to romanticize these people when they're really fighting for Adolf Hitler. This is Wittmann's collective grave here, and this is where his partial remains were put in 1983. They had a large ceremony, and Wittmann's widow came to it, and they honored him, and they continue to honor him. Michael Wittmann lived his life on the edge. He became famous because of his willingness to take risks, to take advantage of opportunities. But for him to make that charge towards the Canadians on Hill 112 was suicide.
I have a feeling that Wittmann had been in the war so long that when it got to that point, they were realizing that the war was lost. And whether his last thoughts as he went down the road were simply, Valhalla, here I come.
The Sherbrooks did knock out Michael Wittmann. And you didn't make very much of it. None of us knew who the hell this guy was.
He accepted the doctrines of Hitler enough to get in his tank and invade other people's countries, left country after country. Anybody who goes into another person's country to kill is a criminal. I'm afraid he might have been a hero to the Germans, but not to me.